Welcome to Deborah Investigates. I am Deborah, and today I am investigating Thomas Matthew Crooks. I bet many of you don't even remember who that is, that name. Thomas Matthew Crooks was apparently the alleged would-be assassin of President-elect Donald Trump. But we don't hear any information about Thomas Matthew Crooks, do we? And that's just not the standard for our investigative journalists. You see, I thought about Thomas Matthew Crooks this past week after the truck attack in New Orleans on New Year's Eve. Because in that case, the assassin there, Mr. Jabbar, we know everything about him. The news cycle is running 24/7, dissecting every single piece of information they can find about Mr. Jabbar. We've learned that Mr. Jabbar was going through divorce. We've learned that he was in financial troubles. We've learned that he became radicalized, that he was in the military, he's got a degree. We've learned so much information about Mr. Jabbar. But at the other end of the spectrum, we know nothing about Thomas Matthew Crooks. The only thing they've told us is that he was 20 years old, he's a registered Republican, and he lived in Bethnal, Pennsylvania. That's it. I don't know whether Mr. Crooks has any siblings because they haven't told us that. They haven't interviewed any of his classmates at Bethnal High School. They haven't interviewed the principal, any of his school teachers, any of his co-workers. He went to community college. Where are his co-workers at his classmates at community college? No interview whatsoever. We know nothing about his motive. So then I said, okay, let me give them the benefit of the doubt. Maybe when it comes to presidents, the Secret Service doesn't want to compromise their investigation, and so they don't do as much revelations. But nah, that's not it either. You see, in 1981, President Reagan was a victim of an attempted assassination attempt. And his would-be assassin, John Hinckley, we know tons of information. You see, we have so much news information, tons of information online about Mr. Hinckley. We learned that Mr. Hinckley was motivated by his obsession with Jodie Foster. That he became obsessed with Jodie Foster after watching her portray a 12-year-old prostitute on Taxi Driver. We learned that he went to Yale after Jodie Foster went to Yale, and he registered for a writing class because he wanted to be close to her. And we learned that he was motivated to impress her by doing this assassination attempt of President Reagan. So there's tons of information about John Hinckley. Nothing about Thomas Matthew Crooks. You see, I surmise that Thomas Matthew Crooks doesn't even exist. Let me even say some more. We see on July the 13th, 2024, at that rally, we see President-elect Trump get shot. And then the Secret Service apparently shoot Thomas Matthew Crooks. But we don't see that. We don't really hear any additional shots because it was all happening so fast that they would have shot him and we would have heard it and we would have seen the body on the floor. But none of that is there because it doesn't exist. This was all an attempt to increase public empathy for Donald Trump and his election. And unfortunately, somebody got shot in the process. But Thomas Matthew Crooks, he don't exist. Peace out.